Okay, let us start. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame bante buri panya tathagata kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame sangha supatipanna anuttara sadhu sa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisarana gamanang paripunang panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sura meraya majapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Nacha Gita Wadita Visuka Dasana Malaganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanatthana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Idang me silang Magapala Nyanasa Pachayo Hotu Appamadena Sampadeta Sa. Okay, let us do some guided upeka before we start the talk. So we sit here, we let go of all the vipassana noting, let go of all its objects. Just keep the mind in the present, peaceful, calm, mindful, alert. And let the body relax. Let the body relax. Any tension, any tightness, we let them all go. Relax from top of the head to the forehead and face, to the neck and shoulders, the chest, to the stomach area, to the back and spine, the buttocks and the hips, thighs, knees, to the calf, to the ankles, soles, toes. So relax the body, keep the mind present. I am the owner of my own karma. I am the owner of my own karma. Karma is my closest relative. Karma is my closest relative. Whatever wholesome actions, speech, or thoughts that I've done in the past, then it will ripen in the present or the future. And whatever unwholesome action, speech, or thoughts that I've done in the past, then it will give rise to unhappiness in the present or in the future. I'm the owner of my own karma. I too subjected to the law of samsara. I have to go through aging, sickness, death, and rebirth. May I be able to accept all the truth, all this reality, without fear, without bias, without anxiety, but with understanding, wisdom, and calmness. Now let us expand. Let us expand equanimity to all the beings around you, monks, nuns, fellow yogis, to all our helpers, volunteers, workers, to all the sponsors, donors, to all the garden devas of this center, to all other devas residing in this neighborhood, to all the petas, and to all the animals near or far, seen or unseen, big or small. All of us here, we are subjected to the law of karma. We are subjected to the law of karma. We are the owners of our own actions, owners of our own karma. Whatever wholesome deeds you have done in the past, then it will give rise to happiness in the present or in the future. And whatever unhappiness that we have done in the past, and whatever unwholesome deeds that we have done in the past, then it will give rise to unhappiness in the present or the future. We are the owners of our own karma. We are the owners of our own karma. We are subjected to the law of samsara. We are subjected to aging, sickness, death, and rebirth. May we all able to accept the reality, accept the truth, without fear, without bias, without anxiety, but with wisdom and understanding and calmness. Now let us expand to all the beings in this country. May they be humans or non-humans. May they be devas or petas, animals, big, small, far or near, seen or unseen. They are the owners of their own karma. They are the owners of their own karma. Whatever wholesome deeds they have done in the past, then will give rise to happiness in the present or future. And whatever unwholesome actions, unwholesome deeds they have done in the past, then it will give rise to unhappiness in the present or in the future. All beings in this country are subjected to the law of karma. They too are subjected to the law of samsara. They go through aging, sickness, illness, death, and rebirth. May I able to accept the truth, accept the reality without fear, without bias, without anxiety, but with wisdom, understanding, and calmness. Now let us expand further. Expand to all the beings in this world. May they be our loved ones near or far away, or to those people whom we do not know wherever they are, or to those whom we dislike or those who dislike us. To all the guardian devas of the Buddha Sasana, to all other devas residing in this world, to all the petas, and to all the animals, big, small, far or near, seen or unseen. All beings, they are subjected to this law of karma. They are the owners of their own karma. Karma is their closest relative. Whatever wholesome deeds they have done in the past, then it will give rise to happiness in the present or future. And whatever unwholesome deeds they have done in the past, then it will give rise to happiness in the present or future. All beings in this world subjected to the law of karma. They too are subjected to the law of samsara. They go through aging, sickness, death, and rebirth. May I able to accept the truth. May I able to accept the reality without fear, without bias, but with understanding and wisdom and calmness. Now let us expand, reaching out to all beings without exception. Reaching out to all beings without exception without condition, without bias. To all the beings in this universe or universes, to all the beings from the highest planes to the lowest planes of existence, to all the beings in all the world systems. All beings are subjected to the law of karma. They are the owners of their own karma. Karma is their closest relative. Whatever wholesome deeds they have done in the past, then will give rise to happiness in the present or in the future. And whatever unwholesome deeds they have done in the past, then will give rise to unhappiness in the present or in the future. They are the owners of their own karma. They too are subjected to the law of samsara. They go through aging or sickness, death, and rebirth. May I able to accept the truth, accept the reality, without fear, without anxiety, without bias. May I accept the truth with understanding, with wisdom, and calmness. May I able to accept the truth with wisdom, with calmness, and with understanding. Now let us let go of the reflection. Bring the mind back to the present, to feel the body here and now. Feel the rise and fall of the abdomen. Then we can slowly open our eyes. Right. So, where were we yesterday? Yeah, we were at the Equanimity Sankhara Upeka. As I said, this time when we reach to the just before enlightenment, then the equanimity, this equanimity becomes very prominent, very clear, and is equanimous with all formations, all sankhara. Sankhara of the body or sankhara of the mind, formation of the body or formations of the mind, or other words, mental process or physical processes. So the mind is very stable at that time. Whatever that affects you in the past, then at Sankhara Upeka, this thing, if they arises, the mind is not affected at all. The mind able to see those things with wisdom, and penetration of the mind, and everything become very clear. The mind is so stabilized. Uh, in the past, I talk about some like we have a lot of like sometimes certain fear, certain phobia, certain sadness issue that very connected to our perhaps loved one, somebody died and somebody passed away. And every time we think about those things, this type of mental state arises, very strong. But when we're able to come to Sankaropeka, this plays totally a different game. Whereas all these type of states of mind, if they comes up, it so happen that the face of your loved ones arises as an image of the meditation. The mind, there's not even an ounce of sadness or an ounce of attachment there. You see it as just phenomena of the mind, and it's passed through. Yeah. Previously, a few talks ago, we talked about we learn not to be too biased in our life, and then we are mentally become more stable, don't easily get panic, and don't fall into the fear so much. Keep the mind in the middle, something like that. Yeah? A lot to do with that when we train it out there, we train it here and there, but still, even as much as we train, there are still the mind still fluctuate there because it's not perfect. But this time, when it comes to Sankara Upeka, then the equanimity is perfect. The equanimity is so stable that any form of your thoughts, anger, or even connected with joy, connected with pleasantness, thoughts, idea, or any sensation that comes in, the mind is not attracted to it at all. Yeah. Everything goes into, as I said, equanimity. The mind is fully alert during that time. Yeah. So with that, if the mind goes into maturity, that area goes into maturity, then it goes into able to realize nibbana. But that area, as I said, Sankara Upeka, this area, it's very difficult how one can attain enlightenment or not. So as I said, it depends on many other factors, whether what sort of what sort of uh, adhitthana that you have put in your past, in your previous lives, and if whatever, like you see the Buddha also, a Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is not enlightened. If they're enlightened, they cannot be Bodhisattva. So they always put to jhana until their last life. Yeah. But they are well trained in the mind. Yeah. The mind reaches up to the very high. So all they need is to more training on it in the last life, and that's it. Yeah. Uh, so so until there, if the mind matures, then it can able to enter and realize nibbana. Hmm? Now, in the Sankara Upeka also, the equanimity becomes prominent, one thing. But the other one also becomes prominent, which I did not mention yesterday. It's also anatta. Anatta, perception of anatta becomes really prominent at that time. Yeah? Before that, let me go to this one. Now, before that, as I talk about the before Sankara Upeka, that's where all the dukkha there, right? A lot of your dukkha, because of the formations of the changes, the processes, you look at them, so much dukkha arises in various ways. It's not just only Sankhara dukkha only, but also all the other two dukkha also can come up together, or three of them can come together. No? So you see the various types of dukkha, and it makes the meditation very difficult. So the mind easily get fluctuated, no? Because of the nature of dukkha. No? The mind, the stability of the mind it's disturbed because of the dukkha. No? The mind is not strong enough to withstand the dukkha. But nevertheless, if you keep trying, keep noting, and of course there'll be certain time the mind can able to see all these type of things. When it matures into like equanimity towards formation, sankhara upekkha, then all this type of dukkha that previously that you seen it with certain mental processes, this time it doesn't give rise to dukkha. Yeah. Yesterday I talked, yeah. I mentioned about if let's say your stomach is being twisted, twist some more. And then of course you find the dukkha is there. But this time at Sankhara Upekkha, if let's say these things arises, yeah, you can let it twist and as much as you want. But the mind is totally stable. Totally stable. You can twist until the bowel come out also doesn't matter. The mind is not affected at all. So powerful. So powerful this time. As I said, throughout the whole day, as long as they're in the Sankhara Upekkha, then the mind is totally in the state of balance. Very easily for you to get able to be concentrated. The moment that you start meditating, early in the morning, it's already started very clearly all the way until at night. So they call it the long practice. Not the long COVID, but the long practice. Which is good. Yeah, which is good. It prepares the mind for for the for the nibbana. Actually, it prepares the platform for nibbana. Now, as I said, this time the perception of anatta is very clear. The reason that anatta is very clear because every time that you notice these formations, you are not in control. And very clearly at that time, objects changes on their own. You have no idea how the object is going to change. But sometimes for some yogis, they may even know just a microsecond or a millisecond or a nanosecond before something change, the mind already knows it. Say for example, here you sit down and then you're not rising and falling, and then suddenly it goes sideways, suddenly it go up and down. Does the mind know that before it's going to change? It does not know. It already changes, it already moves, already the mind already from let's say the pain arises, then the mind from rising and falling, you switch over to the pain. To us, we look things like that, go like that, no, what's the big deal? But when your mind is much more sharper, especially like in Sankhara Upekkha, some yogis, if the wisdom factor is strong, then even before the mind switch over to the pain, the mind knows it already. Just that millisecond, that's microsecond. The mind knows that what is going to do there. It's going to change over to this one. The mind knows that that within this rising and falling, however that is going to move, whichever direction is going to move, however your experience going through right now, the mind knows it first. Just a millisecond. But can we see it? We cannot see it yet. Now all these type of things, even sometimes if you are walking, lifting, pushing, dropping, and then all, let's say, all the vibration that's coming in. And sometimes some of you may experience the walking is like going sideways a little bit, a little bit of pushing there, a little bit there, here. Every little movement, the mind knows it already. So the mind is the forerunner of all Dhamma, of all things. That one is really true one. It's not just in the Dhammapada only. It's happening right in front of us, inside us already. Other words. Yeah. Whereas a lot of time people can quote that Dhammapada thing, Dhammapada, the quotation, but it doesn't know how deep that this phrase can actually go. Yeah. Yeah. So therefore, the perception of anatta is like you are not in control. There's no I that is on control. Every single movement, the mind knows it. Every single movement, the mind knows it already. Every single tiny movement, the mind knows it already. So where's the I? Then there's no I there. So at that time, the perception of anatta becomes very clear to the yogi. Mm. If again here, especially if the wisdom power is strong for the yogi. Yeah? Some yogis, the wisdom power may not be that strong. If they may strong in other areas, but they may not be as strong in the wisdom factor. Mm. So this can be quite interesting. Yeah? So the perception of anatta, it's going to be very clear that the mind doesn't have a control to all the formations. The formation will arise due to their conditions, due to the mind that arises. The processes is being uh, as being done, is being conditioned in a way. So therefore, you pay attention to as much as it can until the mind, this level, it goes into maturity. Then the process, the mental, the stream of consciousness arises. Then the enlightenment takes place. Enlightenment takes place means Magga takes the Nibbana as an object. Pala also take the Nibbana as an object. Other consciousness cannot take Nibbana as an object. Only Magga and Pala can take Nibbana as an object. Some people says that change of lineage also can able to because it's just next to it only. But honestly, that only one time only. It's Magga and Pala. Finally takes the this one as an object. Nibbana as object. Now we say take Nibbana as an object. Just like your noting mind takes a body, a sensation of an object, or takes the mind as an object, we use it in the same manner. The reason is that Nibbana is neither created or destroyed. I mean, in the word, if in the Putujana word, it's there already. It's already there. It's not neither created nor destroyed. It's just because we cannot see it. We cannot realize it because we don't have the path and fruition knowledge, path and fruition consciousness. If you don't have that consciousness, then not there. So too the same thing. If you don't have the hearing consciousness, then you cannot hear. If you don't have an eye consciousness, then you cannot see. So too, Nibbana is already there, but it's a very subtle object. Sometimes the Buddha used the word Nibbanic element, Nibbana dhatu. It's an element, dhatu. So because when the practice is there, you're able to take note of that object. But at that time, it's no more Khanika Samadhi, it's all fully absorption. It's an absorption. But for the first time, It's for a short while. After that, you're already out of it already. Now, the Magga is the one that does the eradication of the defilements. In the first enlightenment, yeah, what do you eradicate? Uh, you eradicate the skeptical doubt as one defilement. What's the second defilement? Wrong view is the second defilement, correct. Within this wrong view is divided into two. One wrong view is the personality view. I. No. It's not I. It's not a I thing. It's more like you believe that object, mind or bodily objects, they are having soul or permanency. Something there. You know? It's the personality view they call it. You know? There's a like a soul, like a this thing. That is the type of view that is being eradicated. And it's connected to the five aggregates. Yeah? But anyway, the second type of wrong view is eradicated. It's the view that is connected with the, they call it the fetters of Silabata Paramasa, the rites and rituals. You believe that certain rites and rituals that you perform, then you're going to give you enlightenment. Yeah. So a lot of people have that view, no, even within the Buddhist circle. Within the Buddhist circles, certain views are they sometimes they believe that if you have certain power, certain amulet, certain if you sit even if you sit near the Bodhi tree or so, you get enlightened faster. Really, man? So might as well buy a ticket, go to India straight away, duduk there, meditate the whole night, the whole day through, see whether you can get any enlightenment or not. A lot of upakilesa got actually. Yeah. Maybe just connected to sometimes they see lights here and there. Now, these two falls under wrong view. In the 10 fetters, this considered three fetters. Fetters of skeptical doubt, fetters of what? Of uh, rites and rituals, and the fetters of personality view. These three are eradicated, but in terms of defilement, there are two. Yeah? So, the path does its object. The path do the eradication. When we say do the eradication, that time you have no defilement arises. It's not like, oh, defilement there, path there, then eradicate. It's not like that. No, it's not like this. The defilement that is being eradicated is a latent defilement, not active defilement. If active defilement, then no nibbana already. How the nibbana and the process of enlightenment come in when there's desire is still there, the wrong view is still there. Because the mind is totally purified. But how does the eradication can take place? Because it takes place in the latent defilement. That means that time there's no defilement but latent. Latent here does not arise, but latent have the potential to arise when the conditions are there. Okay? That means right now, for example, as I said before, like in the past, do you have anger now? You don't have anger right now. Because right now, the anger, we call it in the latent tendency. It's a latent defilement. But tomorrow, let's say somebody make some noise, then the anger arises. Then the anger comes up in the mind or in the action, or in the speech. That one becomes active defilements already. They have active defilement. So they are active in the sense that they are already producing unwholesome karma. Whereas in the latent defilement, they don't produce any karma. If latent defilement keep on producing karma, then no need to get out samsara already. Because it keep on producing. So the latent defilements does not produce anything and it's not there. So while we are going through this process of enlightenment, the mind is totally purified. The path itself does its job of eradicating. Therefore, you don't even know that the path is done its job because it's just passing through. There's no defilement there at all, Yeah. So it's a lot of times when we talk about the 10 factors, the defilements are there. We are waiting for where is the path is going to eradicate that defilement. No, there's no fighting over it. Sometimes people thought that they meditate, they have a lot of defilements. Suddenly a, a vision comes in or a light comes in, it covers up all that defilement. Oh, free liao, free already. No lah, no lah. That's all upakilesa only. Yeah. So something like that. The path, the path. So the friction here, that is the one that is going to arise again and again as you meditate further. And when you want to go into development or into absorption again, it's the friction consciousness. It's going to go like again and again, and then therefore you take the nibbana continuously. Not just one moment of time or 1 or 2 seconds, but for a long period of time as you make the determination how long you want to sit. You sit 15 minutes, you want to be there for 1 hour, 2 hours, just to stay with Nibbana, then can. Yeah. Just like if you can able to do with jhana also, So liberation for the Nibbana here. Yeah. Now the thing is that Nibbana does not, again, realization of Nibbana after enlightenment, it does not come immediate. After enlightenment, after the path and fruition, this is where you go into knowledge of reviewing. Like in the paper there, if you still bring no, never mind, it's okay. If you want, we still got it. Yeah. Now, knowledge of reviewing here, it reviews what the defilements are still there and what the defilements are not or already eradicated. Knowledge of reviewing. And this one, again, knowledge of reviewing, also some yogis may have it, some yogis does not see it that clearly. Here the reviewing here, for example, if the first path that you have passed through, then later part you can able to review what are the defilements are eradicated and what other defilements are remaining. Now, and that one we don't have to talk about it that much. But what is important is the perception of anicca, dukkha, anatta will repeat itself again. Yeah. Don't think that whatever that anicca, dukkha, anatta that we've seen over here, until enlightenment, the first path, it's finished, Because all the way from Sotapanna, all the way to Arahantship, is repeating what you've seen from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, again. Repeat everything all over again. Oh. Now, even the 1 or so, 2 or so, maybe also so jialat already, when we are so difficult already. Now, as I say, everything has to be repeated all over again. But the thing is that an enlightened person repeats is very different from what you see over here. You still see mental and physical process. There's nothing special about there's there's no third entity. There's always mind and bodily processes. Now each time they come out from nibbana, especially they come out from it here when they start off with the development again. Then it goes with the knowledge number 4, arising and passing away, the mature arising and passing away. From there on, they don't have to go through 1, 2, 3 because 1, 2, 3 already, this one already, they don't have to go through those things already. It's every time they come out is knowledge of arising and passing away. Yeah. So from knowledge of arising and passing away, they see arising and passing away, but this time when they come out of nibbana, then again here, you're coming out from apana jhana, apana absorption. That means it come out from an absorption to a kanika samadhi level. That means there's a change of concentration. So the change of concentration here, so when there's a going back to kanika samadhi, because only at kanika samadhi you can see the process of arising and passing away. Absorption tak boleh, cannot. You have to come out to kanika samadhi. Therefore, that's why sometimes they say that after coming out of it, there is a as if like everything just tarik handbrake. Like before that was, sometimes for example, you're on a highway, you drive 110 kilometer an hour, then drive. Then after that you come to a traffic jam, the highway. You move only 10 kilometer an hour, 5 kilometer an hour. Then you find that there's a difference between just now and suddenly you go slow. you know. So to in the practice also something like that. After the enlightenment, you go back to kanika samadhi, then everything feels slowed down again. But you still note arising and passing away. So you note the arising and passing away. That means, in other words, you're repeating on the perception of anicca again. The anicca again, repeat anicca again. Very quickly, it goes into dissolution. Quickly, it goes into fearfulness. It goes into all the dukkha again, and then after that, equanimity again. Then you get ready for the process, and it goes into enlightenment again, and then you kind of absorb. Then after that, it comes out again. Repeat the whole process again and again until nibbana come out again. Repeat it until come out. Repeat until come out. Repeat until come out. Until you can able to repeat the whole thing in such a fast manner that you can able to enter nibbana as fast as you can. In other words, when you are ready, the mind is ready, you make an intention, the mind falls into nibbana or absorbed into nibbana. Then it stays with it. Then when it stays with it with this nibbana, the Pali word is called pala samapatti. Pala friction, absorption in friction. And that means that time is the friction consciousness that takes nibbana as an object, and that time the mind is really stable. It's just like absorption. So it's in a way that that time the mind is not excessive, not deficient. Equanimity again here plays a very important role. Yeah. So equanimity plays an important role whenever the yogi enters or sees nibbana. The mind cannot be excessive or deficient, but only able to be truly in balance. Then it sees nibbana as an object. So this is how this one. Then they repeat this. They stay in that pala samapatti as long as they want. Then they come out and practice seeing anicca, dukkha, anatta all over again until I felt that enough lah, They feel that it is enough. Therefore, they set their sight for the next enlightenment. Yeah. So they set their sight for the next enlightenment. If they set their sight for the next enlightenment, other words that they should not go into the pala samadhi, they must not go into the absorption again. They have to repeat on knowledge of arising and passing away, dissolution, everything again and again and again and again and again, without going into absorption. They absorb it until maturity of the second path. So before the second path, again, equanimity takes hold of everything to be stabilized. Then the second path and fruition arises. Like that, no? Then you want to go to the third path, you repeat everything all over again. Until third path, until fourth path, until you get out of samsara. Yeah? Can or not? Can, why not? It's only a matter of practice only. Yeah. It's a matter of practice only, more and more practice only. Yeah. The Buddha then say that did not say that this Dharma is for special people, you know. No. The Buddha never said that it's for special people. And seeing Nibbana is for special people. Or the Dharma is for next life. You know. Sometimes people think that, oh, this life 没了啦. Cannot really. They all give up hope already. Next life already. But the Buddha didn't teach the, the Dharma for next life. The Buddha thought all these things can be experienced in this life. There's no special. As long as you're able to have faith, to have practice, and so on, you know, then all these are achievable. Yeah. So this is something like that on the process of enlightenment and the big design. All these things, as I said, because we are still in the equanimity, make sure that the higher development a lot to do with equanimity. Everything, the mind has to be in balance. So that's why the topic of balancing the faculties, and sometimes I put a very, as I said, is an area that we have to look into it very much, because you may not see the effect of it, but if you go into the deeper practice, it's the balancing of the mind is so important. As you go higher and higher, then it's quite important. All right. Now, we put this thing a little bit aside first. We come back to this one, because there's another area I want you to look at it as where the samatha and vipassana, they go hand in hand, especially together with the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana of the samatha, and also the insight knowledge that's coming together. I mean, how they are going parallel, Now, you see, in samatha, development of samatha, hold on now. In the development of samatha, we are taught that if you develop the samatha well, and if you do it rightly, then you enter the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, accordance to the sutta. If accordance to Abhidhamma, then it's first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Material jhana. Let's talk about material jhana. Now, in the material jhana, the first jhana, again, the Buddha mentioned many things in the text. If go through the Sutta method, then you have the 5 factors, right? What are the 5 factors of jhana? Then you have vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekagata. Vitakka is the initial application. Vichara is the sustained application. Initial application is what you are do. Sometimes you direct the mind to the object. You direct the mind to the object. How you direct the mind to the object? We use, like, for example, labeling. Labeling, when you label this thing, you direct it to the object. Vitakalo, that one. Vichara is means that you sustain on the object. That means there's a more continuity on the object that you can able to notice the thing. Yeah? So vitaka, vichara, piti. Piti is the rapture or joy. Then you have the sukha, which is the pleasant feelings, okay, which is different from piti. Piti is, as I said, that time is fall under the fourth aggregate, whereas the sukha falls under the second aggregate and under feelings. And then you have ekagata. Ekagata is another word for concentration, or directly translated as one-pointedness. Now, in the jhana, you come out from the jhana. If the mind is sharp enough, samatha, let's say, if the mind is sharp enough, you can able to distinguish the vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. But in the first jhana, what you will see more prominent is this vitaka and vichara will be more prominent compared to the other three. Okay, although the other three is still there, but the first one, the second one is more prominent. In the second jhana, let's say from the Sutanta point of view, if it's from a second jhana, then vitaka and vichara is already gone. And then it leaves what? Piti, sukha, and ekagata, the other three at the second jhana. But now is the piti, is the rapture, is the joy that is more prominent compared to the other two. Right? Then if you can able to go higher jhana, then you come out from that jhana, you come out from the third jhana, from a sutta method, then piti no more, but that time pleasant feelings becomes predominant compared to ekagata. But then at the third jhana, although the pleasant feeling is there, actually, in a way that the pleasant feeling is neither too much or too little. It's very well balanced. It's a very well balanced, pleasant feelings at that time. Like what we call the day I gave the 10 upeka, 10 types of upeka. One of it is feeling upeka. Vedana upeka. The Vedana type of upeka, that means no, that one is feeling. That one. This one is pleasant feeling. Sorry, this one is pleasant feeling, but it is well balanced feeling. It's a well balanced pleasant feeling, neither excessive nor too little. And that time, this third jhana is what the Buddha recommend, that actually mentioned a number of times in the suttas also, that this is a kind of a dwelling for those who have or enlightened and so on. Yeah? A place that they like to dwell. That means the mind likes to dwell. Viharati. It likes to dwell. Compared to the next jhana, the fourth jhana. Although the fourth jhana is higher, which is at that time, the mind is totally equanimous, purified. The equanimity is totally purified. It's there, but it's totally purified. But according to the Buddha in the suttas, that is the third jhana from the Sutanta point of view, that this third jhana is more for the normal ones to dwell. That means when they meditate, they go into the third jhana better than the fourth jhana. Why is that so? And again here, because of the pleasant feelings. Not that they're attached to the pleasant feelings, but when you meditate with the third jhana and you're able to dwell with the third jhana with the pleasant feeling, then all your stress, all your anxiety, all eliminated. Yeah. All at least for that time. For that time. Mentally so pleasant. Purified type of pleasant feelings. So it's so easy to dwell inside that. And then you pass your time very quickly only. Because monk got nothing else to do. Got no work to do. At that time, of course, no phone, no nothing. There's nothing else to do. So they dwell inside there. So they dwell inside there, the mind is very calm. So they say, even with that, the Buddha says they dwell with equanimity. Although it's pleasant feeling, but they dwell in equanimity. Because it's of a very purified type of pleasant feeling inside that. So if we are keen enough to look into the sutta, but because sometimes I read about it, I know what is going on, but I don't need to go and extract everything and give it to print out for all of you. Go back and read. Go back and read. Now, as I said, when it goes into the higher jhana and it goes into the fourth jhana, then it's only equanimity and the concentration is there. The mind is fully, because all the pleasantness and everything is gone. Now, if you talk about arupa jhana, that means the fifth jhana, sixth jhana, seventh jhana, eighth jhana. The arupa jhana, all of them are only equanimity and concentration only. The other factors are not prominent anymore. Are not there or not prominent anymore. Okay, so the higher you go in all the arupas jhana is only equanimity and this one. So as I said, the higher that you develop, all the pleasantness and so on becomes, in a way, they are gone. So it's only live equanimity and concentration. It doesn't mean that there's no mindfulness. Mindfulness still working, but background. Doesn't mean that there's no wisdom factor. Still have background. Everything background. Now, when we back to the insight knowledge here, again, you look at your insight table. Now, in the insight knowledge, use the Sada Upandita, use the word Vipassana Jhana. And use the word Vipassana Jhana. And again here, Vipassana Jhana and Samatha Jhana, they are not really the same, but they are similar in certain sense. That's why the word Vipassana Jhana. The word jhana itself may not be corresponding rightly together, but they are rightly used, actually. As I said, the word jhana does not mean absorption only. Even like, for example, you're meditating like that. Let's say you meditate. It's called jayati, to meditate. That means the word it comes with jhana also, it's connected to jhana also. So with that, actually the jhana means to meditate. So there's different meaning of jhana here. Okay. Now, while we are going through this 16 insight knowledge, this thing, we also can actually separate them into first vipassana jhana, second vipassana jhana, third vipassana jhana, and fourth vipassana jhana. Pun boleh. Because the quality of the factors are there. The five factors just now we talked about, and slowly it eliminated. As we go through this development of insight, that vittaka, vichara are also eliminated. Not to say eliminate, it's not prominent anymore. Yeah. Now, let's see. When it comes to the third insight knowledge, when it comes to the third insight knowledge, the knowledge of comprehension, your vitaka vichara becomes very clear. But you do not know it only lah. Because of your object are changing and all that. Because that's why we don't use the word vipassana jhana that much. We are not too worried about the quality of vitaka, vichara, piti, eka, kata, sukha. We are more interested in the characteristic of the object. Okay? We are more interested in the characteristic of the object, how the object are changing, moving this way, that way. That one is more important. But while you're noting in those objects are changing, then the factors, these five factors that when you comes into the knowledge of comprehension, they can be there quite clearly, if you know how to pay attention to them, So that means while you're able to meditate that time, very quickly the mind knows how to look for object already. You sit down, object already started already, pipi papa. You start walking already, you don't have to like in the past, where is it the object? How come not already rising, falling, not there one? Then you can look, there. If like that, that means the vitaka vichara not about, you're about to mature, you're about coming up to maturity. But when it comes to the third insight, you sit down, object is already start changing here and there. You sit down, already there, sit down, already there. So the vitaka vichara becomes quite prominent, and then you can able to sustain on the object, not a single object. Let me rephrase that. Not on a single object, but you can sustain throughout the whole hour, let's say, without the mind goes into a lot of thinking or almost like zero thinking. That the mind can able to notice from one object to another object, mind states, now mind process this one, that one, and all that thing. In other words, there's a continuity of the mindfulness there. There's a continuity. There's a continuity of the noting mind there. Okay, so the continuity, that means the vitaka, vichara is there, So the mind knows how to take note of the object so clearly. So it's already there. The piti, the sukha, also is there, but they are not so prominent. Once in a while, they do come up also at that time. And yet, at that time, because of the quality of the vitaka vichara, then the kanika samadhi also at that time, which is a form of ekagata also, then that ekagata, then that concentration, it prevents the mind from getting distracted, from getting into wandering. That means the mind can able to stay with all the objects, whichever object that arises, mental process or physical process, without. So that means that the mind is powerful during that time. Okay, so with that, sometimes they call it the vipassana jhanic factors are there, but not the consciousness. Not, you see, the samatha jhana, when you got samatha jhana, it has samatha jhanic consciousness that is different from vipassana consciousness. The vipassana consciousness is not an absorption type of consciousness, but it still have the five factors also, at that moment of time. So therefore they call it vipassana jhana also, because the factors are there. Okay? Yeah, just meditate, just meditate. Don't worry about all these things. Because that time, what is good is that the mind doesn't get distracted. The mind can meditate. And because of that, if you look at this long enough, you know that the the jhanic factors are there, and it's parallel to the development of samatha. So because if you're able to do samatha and able to do vipassana, you can see the parallelness of both things are going together, right? So when you go second jhana of vipassana, then it is where the piti becomes clear. So where is the piti? At the knowledge of a mature knowledge of or tender knowledge somewhere there lah. As I said, the piti comes up as vipassana upakilesa, right? But in the sense that that piti also is a sense of a jhanic factor also. It's not that it's just piti, but as long as you don't attach to it, it can be there for some time. That means your whole meditation can be quite refreshing and quite nice, and you keep on noting everything. So, other words, the piti becomes prominent. So becomes prominent, and yet you can still able to note your things and so on. So it's a kind of a jhana also, and yet all the defilements are all out. All the wandering mind and all everything is out. So in a way, it is also in a way also it's a jhanic factor also. Together with all the other this one. At that time, because of that maturity, you see that you don't have to have noting, you don't have to put in labeling, your mind is automatically continuous. Vitaka Vichara is like not prominent at all. This time, your this one is there, but the mind is still noting. Then when it comes to third jhana, whereas the pleasant feelings. Now the pleasant feelings also can become clear, especially in the third, in the fourth jhana, the 4B, I think so. And that time, arising and passing away can take place. All the arising and passing away can take place. And pleasant feelings are still there. And you're not attached to pleasant feelings. That time, joy already not there anymore. But so this time, the pleasant feeling that arises is a very purified type of pleasant feelings. It's very nice. This type of pleasant feelings that you don't see this type of pleasant feelings out there. Our out there, the type of pleasant feelings or joy is very gross, very, I mean, it's in a way is tainted. Whereas over here, it's fully, your mindfulness is truly alert, very clear, and so on. So at that time, the third jhanic factor are still there. So the fourth jhanic factor, the fourth jhanic factors, whereas the ekakata and equanimity, where do you think they will come up? Look at your paper lah. It's already the answer also there already. Yeah lah, equanimity of formation. Because at that one, the equanimity becomes at the topmost, at the very clear, and the concentration is so deep, and so everything is become very clear to you. So that quality of the fourth jhanic factor is there. So when he uses the word jhana, vipassana jhana, a lot of time, I mean, devotees and even meditators also get confused. That's why I don't want to use so much of the jhanic factors here. But I know what he's talking about. It's the factor is there. Because as you go through the insight, the factors becomes quite prominent to you. As I said, usually we don't look into the factors so much, but we note the object much better because we are looking in the characteristics of the object, not just the mental, not the factor that notes the object. So here, as you grow, as you develop into it, the jhanic factors are very clear also in the progress of insight. It's other words, it's very parallel to the samatha development. So don't underestimate the nature of insight. Sometimes people think that this Kanika Samadhi and all that thing is not a powerful, strong, or penetrative type of concentration, whereas this concentration brings you all the way to enlightenment. So Monday we'll talk about something else. Maybe equanimity or something else. I haven't figured it out yet. So we'll stop here for tonight. So tomorrow, if you have any questions, then you can send in your questions in the this one there. Well, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Eh, wait, hold on. For those who are online, where is Sister Hun Ling's? Yeah, who's still in contact? Okay. Let me share something for all of you. Okay, for those on online, then if you have any questions on the Dhamma or the practice, then you can send to Sister Hun Ling. So, okay. So we share merits. Idang me bhavanang nibbanasa pachayo hotu. May my mental cultivation be a condition for the realization of Nibbana. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema. We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings and all the devas. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay.